So that's what a countdown looks like, right? That was a synchronized countdown. Ready, set, go. Here we are.
We're
Here
super professional today.
we are. We're just candid. This is what it looks like to be candid and have a conversation about life, what it looks like, and how to work with each other and ourselves on this beautiful journey called life, which gives us lots of twists and turns. And
I think we're actually experiencing a twist and turn right now as Tammy has gone on mute.
oh, I'm up here talking to myself. I don't know how that technology just kind of does things. I'm just talking away.
Yeah, and I'm in Mexico, so I just assume that it's my internet when something like that happens. So apologize for that. But like,
Oh,
okay, so you're
God.
starting here on this slide you're showing us of our path to intuition. Can you help us like follow through like how this how you think about this slide?
Yes. Yeah. So for me, and what we're talking about today and what we help people with is how to move through life in the most efficient, effective way. Don't get stuck on things. Get out of the drama triangle and live our lives with our intuition. So, this is the model that I've created. This is what I live. And we got some questions coming in here, some comments. It was fun, Rachel. That's right. Um, Leaning into this path, you can look at this on a really broad macro. How do we tap into our intuition, lead with our intuition? You can also look at it on the micro level as things are happening in our lives. What's going on there, and how do I get to the heart of what this experience is trying to teach me? We get thrown into these reactions and life comes at us, and how do you get into a place where you can just laugh at yourself, roll with the punches, live in a state of joy and happiness, lean in and learn those lessons as we're going about this path? And this is what I've done. This is what I teach.
Mm-hmm. Why would you? I mean, I know probably the audience we're talking to really has an idea of all these definitions, but let's just start like with the true self. Like, what are we talking about there, and why would we be interested in connecting to that?
So it's a very spiritual perspective that I am a greater being. I've come here for a purpose. I have a calling, and everyone has a unique purpose and calling. We came from somewhere, and when we die, we'll go back to that place. And that true part of us is a part of that. It's called lots of things. It's our soul, our spirit. Inside of that is a piece of the universe or a part of God that lives inside of us, that is our life force energy. That is the essence of who we truly are. So I call it our true self. There's a lot of things that go on in our day-to-day life that take us away from that. And so the pathway for me, the pathway for the work that I do, is help people get back to that truth. Because in that place, we're living in a state of happiness, joy, being centered, grounded, healthy.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah, I was just gonna.
what's that definition for you?
No, same. I absolutely agree. And I was just gonna say, like, working with a lot of women in business, it seems like there's an opportunity there to, especially for women, to think about their business thinking about it as where it's coming from inside of you and what you're nurturing and like just flowing in the artistic expression of who you are. And that's
Mhm.
very different. Um, that's what Jamie and I do a lot. And that's very different than the traditional way of building a business, right? Like I see a need in the market. I'm going to build a product. I'm going to sell it to that need, right? Um, so
Mhm.
yes, that to me, there's a huge opportunity for many different parties, for women, for healers and coaches to grow, to be aligned with their business. But I think ultimately, this is what we're talking about is like really the purpose of having fulfillment in life, of really connecting to what you're doing, really knowing what your calling is. So all of what you're focused on in life is aligned with that calling and takes a little less effort, sometimes more struggle, but on the way to that path. But in the long term, it's just way more fulfilling. So it's worth it.
Right. That's right. So I just worked with a client, and the pathway led to really knowing and understanding who she is, right? She's on a path to discover new things in life, and she's at a crossroads and she doesn't know exactly where to go. And how do you know which place to go? There's so much information that's coming at us. If we can lead our lives and we can lead our businesses with our heart, with our intuition, it helps to take away all the noise.
Hmm.
All the things that people tell you you should be, what you should be doing, or who they think you are. I mean, women particular wear a lot of hats. We take on a lot of roles that may not be in aligned with our calling, with our purpose, or what we actually even love to do. It's just an expectation that we're supposed to do all these things. And so getting through all of that noise and figuring out, what do I want? Who am I? What am I here to do? Is a journey. It's a path. And this is the pathway that I have walked. And it's the pathway that I teach others to walk.
Cool. Can you tell us, maybe like give us some understanding of going back to the beginning? I know quite a bit about the beginning, having
Mhm.
worked with you, but like for other people that are listening in, like where did you start? Um, Not know so much, maybe if you want, whatever you want to share about that, but like, did you find theta healing right away? How did you get into healing? How did you get into teaching?
Yeah, I mean, it's a life journey of searching to find myself. I was adopted um, at the age of 5 days, and that had just led me on this journey of, well, feelings and beliefs that I wasn't worthy or wanted. And all of those were teachers. I talk about my adoption as my biggest teacher in life,
Hmm.
because I am wanted, I am loved, and I needed to know how to do that for myself. Accept myself, forgive myself, love myself unapologetically. And after my divorce was really when I was, for the first time, started to turn in and do that. Previous to that, it was always looking outwardly for answers to fill the voids that were inside of me. And you're never going to find what you're looking for outside of yourself. All the answers are inside of us. So when I turned in and started to love myself, forgive myself, give myself grace, and continue my path of searching, because I'd searched for things my whole life externally,
Hmm.
I actually found theta healing. And when I was sitting in that class, my very first class, which was over 10 years ago, I knew this was what I'd been searching for. It touched and healed that trauma. And I knew in that instant that I was going to be a teacher. This, man, I'm not the only person holding um, burdens and trying to work out who I am and learn from these things so I could do the things that I'm wanting to do, to have a happy relationship, to be at peace with myself. All I knew was possible. I just needed to find the pathway. And this was the pathway for me.
Cool. Yeah, so it's cool to think about you being my teacher in this space, and even for what we're doing at the retreat with the Gene Keys. And then also that there's an opportunity for more people, more wellness practitioners to come in and to join, to learn from you and to join the path of healing, deeper healing, let's say, through the Gene Keys. So not only is there an opportunity to attend the retreat, but beyond that, there's a greater opportunity for people to learn to get certified in theta healing, to even get certified in what we're doing with the Gene Keys, so that you are able to do that work with others, or even attend future retreats and be a practitioner there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what's really awesome about the retreat experience, VIP experience in Tulum, is things get really messy in our lives. And the work that we've done has expedited that healing path to be over a week. I mean, it is a reset of your perspectives, releasing triggers, identifying those deep healing spaces to get curious about, and continue your life without all of those burdens. Just to kind of like, do you know horse racers? They have multiple goggles on. When they're racing in the mud,
No.
they just take them off. They're like layers and layers of goggles.
Well,
Because
that's
as
cool.
they're racing, the mud flips up and they won't be able to see a damn thing, right?
Yeah.
Like that's us in life. We get so wrapped up in this drama cycle, being the persecutor or the helper or the victim. I mean, I'm a helper. I think most healers are helpers. I'm always trying to save other people when ultimately I'm really trying to save myself. So, what we're searching for, we try to find in our external world, but really we got to turn in and heal ourselves. I think what happens with a lot of healers and people in the healing practice is that they can mirror themselves onto their clients because they're not doing their own work. Things can get messy inside their practice that's not in the best good for them and for others. And so this work helps to make that clear. And then it also, our own mess gets in the way of us leading our practice with our intuition. We lead our practice with our knowledge, but we're not living into our practice with our intuition.
Yeah, I think that's the beautiful part about theta healing is it's such a grace-based work, teaching. It really gets you out of your head, and like, I'm all for learning methods. Let's say, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to disparage any method, but like, there's all these trainings where you have a certain way where you do something. So I'm going to heal, so I first do this step, and then I do this step, and I do this step. And what Tammy and I do is I mean, we're using in some cases we're not using pure theta healing. We're not using pure silent counseling. We're not using pure anything. We're using like Kevin and Tammy's version, which I'm sure a lot of people are like that. But like, it's good to learn a few different modalities so that you're able to define that and understand that, well, you can show up in a very intuitive way, like we're talking about today. And it's not just us doing the work. I've had sessions recently where there's angels there doing the work, and like sometimes I don't even know what they're doing, but they're, they're doing amazing things, and it feels good, and it's like you can tell that both the client and me that they need to be there, and that
That's right.
they're adding something that's beyond us.
Mhm.
And so this is a work it's more about the like you said at the beginning, we're all eternal beings,
Mhm.
and if we can understand that, and that in this life that we have here today, that we can show up without all the clutter in our head, and kind of reset, and like you said, and take all the goggles off, and get down to the real nuts and bolts.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, you hear the term too of living wholeheartedly, like being a holistic practitioner. So it's mind, body, spirit. But we all know how to take care of our bodies, right? You could find a lot of information how to take care of your body online. We know how to take care of our mind because we've studied, we've done this work. We know exactly what to do, and we can find more information on the internet about all the things that we need to know to do this work. But I feel that it's time for us to fully step into the spirit because we have this depth of wisdom to tap into that is not fully integrated into our practices. And you're right, we're not operating off of a book or a chart or a table. We're tapping in and learning this technique connects us to this universal wisdom, and it creates a synergy between the knowledge that we have learned, between the practices that we are called to do, and then it lets us lead in that calling and into that practice with our whole selves, our beautiful, brilliant minds, our healthy physical bodies, and our intuition. So it looks different for me. It looks different for you. It looked different for a chiropractor or a functional medicine doctor or a massage therapist. They would intuitively get answers of what their clients need based on knowing how to step and be embodied into practices.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, the more I learn about like a lot of the gifts that we received in this age or this time are from people that have been doing a lot of work, like Diana, who started theta healing, and
Mhm.
who have been asking for things and downloads and um, but also one thing that I think is beautiful is just understanding like as a culture, especially in America and maybe Canada and other English speaking cultures, at least that I'm most familiar with, we're rediscovering what other cultures either
Mm,
currently know or past cultures knew.
that's
And
right.
so we need sometimes we need some help on that journey, and I'm thankful for finding you and for the
Mm.
work we've been able to do together.
Yeah. So let me talk about the chart. So it starts on the outside and works its way in. It's an inside job. And it's in body. So our emotions and our feelings and our senses are data. They inform us, and it's how our intuition talks to us. It's also how our trauma, our burdens, our limiting beliefs talks to us. So in life, we're often in different societies and in different households, we're not given permission to feel our feelings. We're told to, hold that in, put on masks, show up in ways that people want to see us, and it teaches us to not see ourselves. So the first thing to do is get really in touch with how you feel and know what each of those feelings feel like and name them. Once you can feel and name and isolate and differentiate between your feelings, it's super empowering because you are not your feelings, they are data to inform you, and they're super helpful. That it's just like a whole part of ourselves that we're not tapping into. And when we do the work and we untangle what's dysregulated, the burdens, the limiting beliefs, then we can even more clearly see how it's operating in the positive way, all of our virtues and positive characteristics and qualities that we carry into being who we uniquely are. Then you can connect more fully to that part of yourself. So you embody it, you know what it feels like, you can sense it and hear it and feel into it, and you can connect to it. And then you need to start trusting it. So it'll tell you to do things. It's like building a relationship with somebody. It takes time and intentional effort and trust, open listening. Once you can do that fully, in the moment, then you can be living in your true self instead of seeing it through the rearview mirror and being like, dang, I knew that was going to happen. That's the little whispers, the moments of intuition, the knowledge and the just knowing that you have. Our first glimpses of that are through the rearview mirror, and then we capture what that feels like. We bring it into the present moment, and we can make decisions in the moment once you build that muscle memory and relationship with it.
I love that. Yeah. Thinking about like really everyone's a healer at a certain
Oh, yeah.
level, right? Like a different, maybe different flavors of, we all
Mhm.
have the ability to receive healing, to probably even help others in a certain way. But we don't, like you say, we have thoughts, we have different dreams or whatever, and we just kind of dismiss them. And then things happen, and it's like, that's interesting. I thought that might have happened. Yeah,
Mhm.
I like that. The rearview mirror. It's a good example.
I mean, it's what you said last time too. We're all born with this. It's our birthright. We're connected to this source energy. We just don't know how to tap into it. We need to learn it again. Every single
Hmm.
person has this. We all have intuition. We just don't all live into it yet.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool.
So if you think about like
All right. So,
what would your life look like? How would your relationships change? How would your practice, your calling, your work change if you were able to show up in your true self, processing emotions all the time, being intuitively led? What does that look like for you?
I can tell you the difference. Like, I mean, before I was headed for a divorce, but um, now it's like Jamie and I don't have to argue so much, and we're working together, and we're gonna have some arguments, right? Like, working together makes it even more challenging sometimes. It's like the stress of the business. It's not like you can leave, go to work, and process something. It's more like you have to work through it together. Um,
Mhm.
so that's been, I would say, that, like the biggest thing is just being able to be present and understand that the what's happening doesn't have any meaning, but we need more information to process whatever the issue is at hand. And um, and then not only that, but be open to the beauty of receiving at a level that we haven't before.
Yeah.
And it's not going to, that information doesn't come from your bank account. It doesn't come from your necessarily even your success in business. It's more like things like a client that comes out of nowhere that's perfectly aligned, and you're like, oh wow, I've been prepared for working with this person.
Mhm.
Or you're working with a client, and after a while, you there's something that comes up in that client's business, and it's like, hmm, that's why I worked through that a month ago, or whatever,
Right.
right? Like, and
Mhm.
so those realizations and having an understanding of why things are happening sometimes, not that we always do, it makes living so much more beautiful and connected.
Mm.
Um, and then for us, obviously, like living in Mexico, if we wouldn't have embraced the path, we wouldn't be here, and we wouldn't be, you know, checking out the different animals that come and visit every day, and
Mhm.
whatever else we do here. So appreciate
Mhm.
all of those things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's for me also, life happens. And when you feel that friction, when you feel that there's something going on, it's an invitation. I can be like, "Oh, there's a trigger. That's something for me to work on. My trigger lives inside of me. What's going on here?" So I can it creates space for me to have a response instead of a reaction. I can turn in to see what is going on, and then I can formulate my thoughts and have a conversation. I can maintain my control in those situations. And I start to understand how do I normally react? And I can see it happening. So I am a freezer. I'm a freezer and a fawner. I will get quiet, get small. I feel all this contraction, uncomfortableness inside of myself when things out in the outside world are triggering me, and I can see that happening in the moment so that I can make a decision how I'm going to respond. And then the other one is fawn. I can people please my way out of things because I want to avoid the situation. And so I can see it all happening, and I can sometimes I can't change it in the moment because I do still get caught up in stuff. I'm human, right? But then I can quickly like analyze what's going on and then get to the root cause of what that's going on. And as these things come to the surface, then that's when they're ready to be seen. It's when they're ready to be healed.
Yeah.
They're entryways, they're doorways, they're trailheads to our path in life. And then I lean on people. So Kevin and I work together. It's so important for healers to heal themselves. We can only take other people as far as we've come. And so, like, there's places I can't go on my own because they're blind spots for me. I need Kevin to help me see them, vice versa.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, for the same. Yes, it's I think that's really the beauty. One of the big beauties of working with you, Tammy, is like all the things you train on, you help people work together, and inside of your school and in all the different courses you've got, there's collaboration, and that's key because
Yeah.
we learn that we all sometimes get the same information even differently, and that's fine. And someone else that's got a different modality coming in, maybe they do something a little different than the rest of us, and that's also fine. And it's not really about any of that. It's about the practice and the, like you said, finding yourself in that and your own gifts.
That's right. That's right. Just showing up for yourself, showing up for others, building a community. And in that community, we just help each other. Together we can grow. And it's also like finding that power inside of yourself and becoming empowered. It just radiates out. So that's where I want to be. That's the community that I'm building. That's the people that I'm serving, the people I'm working with, helping you find that power inside of yourself so you can shine your light into the world. And that's what I'm doing, right? I'm on my own path and journey, and I'm surrounding myself with community, and then I'm creating community. And they absolutely overlap. And we're just one step at a time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Is there
Thanks
anything
for
else
coming
you want
on.
to share? Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
That was a good conversation. Thanks for talking, even with all the funny, like you just get to laugh at yourself. Like life happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all good.
Yeah, we can't. Sometimes we don't control the mute button.
No, we don't control the mute button. And yeah, things happen. So it's all good. Have a fabulous day. Thanks for talking to me. And I look forward to our next conversation.
Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.